So just a little more about the subject. I was telling you that they don't feel that backed by the US, and thus at the same time they don't listen to the US as much. I'm gonna read, this is from Deutsche Welle, so it's German. US, Nord Stream 2 will not move forward if Russia invades Ukraine. That's the title, so in case you want to look for it yourselves. However, here's the point. In the middle of this, you see, is Nord Stream 2 on the sanctions negotiating table? Question mark. The US, Germany, and other European countries have said Russia would have to pay heavy economic price if it invades Ukraine. But naming what that price should be and whether it should include Nord Stream 2 is in question and has been a matter of much debate. So it's not even that overt. The previous German government, led by Angela Merkel, insisted the pipeline was purely a commercial project, and the current Chancellor Olaf Scholz called it a private sector project. But Baerbock of the Greens is a known opponent of Nord Stream 2. However, Green Party. It's not necessarily because, if Russia invades, we're going to cut it. No, it's de facto, it's ideological. So it's basically someone who, like they say, an anti-vaxxer is going to be against all vaccines, regardless if they're good or not. Not someone who, I don't like Pfizer because it's a piece of crap, and they call you. No, we're saying that ideologically this person is just against pipelines, regardless if it comes from Turkey, regardless if it's provided by Hunter Biden, whatever is that. And they say it's a sign that may be hardening because everything he just said, everything is on the table. But saying everything is on the table isn't saying much. Because technically, every time the U.S. has in a conflict, technically nukes are always on the table because it's part of their doctrine. They do have a first fire doctrine, etc., but they've never done it. So just because it's on the table doesn't mean it has been used, right? And also, Germany has blocked in many ways. Germany's refused to join other NATO members in providing weapons to Ukraine. So technically, it's on the table. Technically, they're part of the alliance, but they said, guess what? No, guys. And German weapons are pretty good. So let's continue with the series. Putin actually gained an economic victory. This wasn't questioned that much. All his projects are ongoing. Nord Stream 2 is ongoing, as we just talked about. And thanks to this, he just opened a new 10-year contract with China because even mentioning it as a threat behind it actually prompted him, Putin, to provide China for 10 years with oil and gas. Russia is one of the largest producers in the world of oil and gas. I think it was Pompeo who said it in a way, and he's sort of right in a way, that Russia is basically a huge gas station, posing as a country. It is very important to them. Also, their weapons. And also, oil and gas went up. With this, there might be something. Again, he literally only needed to send half. So not even the maintenance cost was anywhere near what had been before, and yet it was a big mess before it didn't happen. You should wonder why. I can give you a hint. Guess who was president before? Okay. And it will be winter. So right now he's gonna get a lot of profits on this. He already opened a new line. And for instance, the US and Ukraine, as I had explained several months ago, they spent more. They're sending troops overseas, which has all the logistics and they need. The weapons have costs. Even as I put here, even something as stupid as they destroyed the equipment of the embassy in preparation for an invasion that thankfully didn't happen. We all know this has been an ongoing joke even since the 90s, right? If you recall the movie Independence Day, do you really believe it costs $10,000 for a hammer, $5,000 for a toilet seat? Yeah, we know that's going to happen. So all the equipment in the embassy that was destroyed, like the computers and all that kind of stuff, I can see Dell right now rubbing their hands and saying, yeah, you remember that computer that cost $1,000 in public? It's going to cost $5,000 now. Something like that, right? I don't know. It's something like that might happen. And so even if we assume, and again, remember this was the context about how inept this administration has been. Let's assume that they actually, and there was no concession. They were gonna do the Ukraine thing regardless because some people just don't like them. They're very corrupt, whatever. So let's assume this was never a concession. The delays were never, quote unquote, they weren't a concession done behind closed doors, even though it happened a few days ago. Stuff like that. Let's assume it was already gonna happen for a myriad reasons. Because Ukraine, let's be honest, is basically a third world crap hole. I can say shithole. Yeah, third world shithole. Fuck it, I don't care. So legitimately, there are reasons and concerns why you don't want them to go in. There are people whose loyalties are questionable. So maybe if you get them into cybersecurity, they're gonna sell that information to Russia and China and Iran. La la la. So it would have happened anyways. Maybe there was no concession. But guess who won? At least in public, in PR. This administration, if it would have been Trump, we know what would have happened. He would have tweeted 15 seconds later, "Hey guys, I got the Russians to back down." And he would have been like, "Well, I got the Russians to back down." He would have had interviews everywhere. He would have had rallies saying that. And I'm pretty sure he's going to have rallies right now since he's having those saying that, "Hey, if it would have been me, I would have made them back down before," or whatever. So he would have taken credit even if it wasn't his to take. But this one, even if it was theirs to take, all you got was those posts I found. They were hilarious as hell. Like the Russians, telling the mainstream media of the U.S., "Hey guys, can you tell us when we're going to invade so then I can plan my vacations accordingly," all that kind of stuff. And I went into one like happy non-invasion day because NBC was the one who said was. Sources in the administration say today, 16th was going to be the day of the invasion, so it was kind of stupid. They could have literally said, "Hey, it's we who did it," but no. Has anyone found anything about that? I mean, even in the Whitehouse Twitter and Jen Psaki, I don't know, I'm butchering her last name, I'm sure. Twitter, she didn't say, "Hey guys, we got the Russians to demobilize and all the de-escalate and all this kind of stuff." You got the French saying it. You got the French saying, "Hey, we reached a deal and they're de-escalating and we're observing and it looks like they're de-escalating." They're taking credit. Macron is taking credit. Macron is gonna get this is gonna give him a boost for his election in April. What about Biden? How about Kamala? What about the U.S.? I mean, the U.S. is the hegemon of the Western world. What, they had nothing to do? They're basically, they became a meme. And that goes again with what when I say legitimacy. Again, it is focused specifically on this administration. I mean, they became a laughingstock. They even tried to do, and I put it there, a bipartisan thing, like, "Oh yeah, we support Ukraine in this dark hour," and right now it's kind of like, what dark hour? Nothing happened, thankfully. Again, we can speculate whether it would happen or not, but in the end it didn't. So we can also speculate, as I just did, the reasons why not. I can give it, we can go from 100% thanks to the UN administration, 100% to Russia. You can have the whole spectrum. But what we know is that in the PR sense, in the media, even in the Western media, the ones who are taking the victory are the Russians. They're and again, it kind of makes sense. As I said, yeah, we only had 120,000 troops. It was only land-based. We only had food for a couple of days, which is true. I mean, all this is true, and it's verifiably with intelligence and etc. Because when you start invading, you have to pick everything up and start, especially taking food and stuff like that. So you need a lot of support and a lot of logistics, which wasn't there. I put it in this in the previous post, the one where I put it written. I don't know. It was an answer to someone. Sorry, I'm gonna post it anyways. It was a post from. I'm gonna check which university it was. It was pretty good. Let's see. Just a second. It was Stanford University. Yeah, so Stanford University post. It takes like an hour long, and the guy literally lines up which are the the prerequisites for an invasion. But all in all, that's what I wanted to say. Again, if you have any comments, please share. I'm more than willing to listen, and I would love to listen. Again, it improves me, etc. So have a great one, and I think I'm gonna do this a little more often. It's easier than writing them down, and I get a chance to say more as opposed to writing down, because of course there's too long didn't read. I mean, you can listen to this while taking a crap or whatever, so it's fine.